Joker Folly Adieu. So what is the major difference between the original film and this sequel?
I can sing!
Well, yeah, having musical numbers in this movie is definitely a drastic change from the first film, but the other major difference is Joker isn't alone this time. He actually found a love interest, and it's Harley Quinn. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and here is my review for Joker 2 Folie à Deux. The last time we saw Arthur, aka Joker, was when he was at Arkham Asylum after being arrested for multiple murders, and one of those murders took place on live TV. And not to mention, he was the center of a riot that took place in Gotham City, so what's Arthur been up to this whole time? In many ways, Arthur is back to where he started, just being lonely and sad. The only major difference is he's rotting in prison just waiting for his trial. Well, that frown turns upside down immediately when he sees fellow inmate Harley Quinn played by Lady Gaga. And those two hit it off right away and their crazy asses go straight to Pleasure Town. So before I saw the previous film, The Joker, I was a little resistant towards it, well, because I didn't think the character needed an origin story. I actually felt like the character was best when he was kept mysterious. But that being said, I really enjoyed that first Joker movie. I thought Joaquin Phoenix did a really good job, and I really liked the overall look of the film. And something else that I really enjoyed about that movie is that it was very self-contained and it really just felt like a one-off. It did make a lot of money. I think it made somewhere around
$100 billion!
more or less, but the movie did make a lot of money, and when a movie makes a lot of money, the studio really wants to capitalize on that and make a sequel. The studio is going to make this sequel no matter what, with or without director Todd Phillips, and rather than getting another director to ruin this movie, Todd Phillips said,
"Fine. I'll do it myself."
So a sequel was announced, and not only that, it was going to be a musical. I hate musicals. I hate them with a passion. But at the same time, I was actually still pretty curious about this movie. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn was actually not bad. I would just say she was really underused. I did like this grounded version of Harley Quinn, and especially that she's very manipulative. And she really did feel like one of those groupies that writes love letters to serial killers in prison. That is actually probably the best way to describe Harley Quinn in this movie, and it actually works pretty well. The look of the film is pretty consistent with the previous film, and we spent majority of the film at Arkham Asylum, so it's very bleak and very damp. First two musical numbers that come in actually work because it kind of makes you wonder, is it really happening or is this all part of Arthur's fantasy? When those musical numbers come in, the cinematography, the lighting, the colors, the way they pop, it's just...
I gotta tell you, it was perfect.
So like I said, those first two musical numbers actually work because it's all very psychological, but anything after that becomes very unnecessary, kind of like the sequel. If you're a fan of that first film, which had a pretty good soundtrack, the song choices for this movie are not that good. I was really expecting a lot of good Sonny and Cher type of stuff. And even though Lady Gaga is in the movie, it doesn't seem like she wrote any songs for this soundtrack. And even though a lot of the scenes are fantasy, I wouldn't be expecting any performances of her like you would see in a concert or even a music video. And it really does feel like the musical segments weren't even part of the script. It just became like an afterthought. But there are some really, really good segments in this movie, especially a courtroom scene when we get a returning character from the first film. There are some other really good courtroom scenes in the movie with the Joker or Arthur when he gets the people of Gotham really ramped up.
Look at me, I'm making people happy. I'm the magical man from Happy Land.
But even then, this movie just feels very, very unnecessary and actually disappointing. And it's disappointing because there are actually some good ideas that are in this movie that they just don't follow through with. Todd Phillips is actually a really good director, and he's really, really good with just one-off films and not the sequels. I was a really big fan of The Hangover, just not Hangover 2 and 3. Even though this film is really unnecessary, we still get some really good performances from Joaquin Phoenix, Brendan Gleeson, Lady Gaga, Lee Gill. And even though it's controversial, I thought the ending was actually pretty good, and I think you could interpret it in different ways. My rating for Joker 2 Folie à Deux, well, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, and it's definitely not the worst comic book movie I've ever seen. It's just really unnecessary. So I would say just stream it when it's already part of your subscription, like at Amazon or Netflix. Maybe the title's making people upset. Maybe if they called it something else like Joker 2 Electric Boogaloo. Or maybe Joker 2
For no reason, here's a boo.
Well, that's very random and does have some musical attributes, and hey, who doesn't love Apu? Alright, so did you see Joker 2? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or did you just think it was unnecessary like I did? Please comment below and let me know, and please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
I got the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.